Riding high over the snow-capped Rockies is Denver's John Elway. The future Hall of Famer continues his chase for the record books. His weapons, Anthony Miller leading the Broncos in touchdown receptions, and the mercurial Shannon Sharpe putting the frostbite into opposing defenses. For first-year head coach Mike Shanahan, he tries to deep freeze Bronco opponents in the second half. But the Arizona Cardinals are heating things up. Their current win streak may have cooled off the Buddy Bashers. Standout rookie Frank Sanders igniting the offense, while stoking the furnace on D is Eric Swan, who's back from knee surgery. Fire and ice in Denver. The Cardinals and Broncos next. A bright sunny day, temperature 65 degrees in Denver, Colorado. The 201st consecutive sellout here at Mile High Stadium. An interconference battle today, the Cardinals and the Denver Broncos. And a pleasant good afternoon, everybody. Alongside Ron Pitts, I'm Tom Brenneman. The Denver Broncos are feeling they have to make a big playoff push in the second half, Ron. And as always, the man they're counting on is John Elway.
Well, Mike Shanahan comes into town with a new offense. It's caused some problems. John Elway told us yesterday he's had to struggle with it, but they're finally getting it back together. I think the key also is he's getting his weapons back together. Now, these three guys here, they've been nicked up on and off, but they are healthy. He's got to get the ball to them, let them have some big-time numbers like they did in the Raider game.
As far as Arizona is concerned, you always think about Buddy Ryan, you think about defense, but this has been a porous group through the first half of the season.
Well, Buddy's complained all along about not being healthy. Finally, they're getting some people back in the linebacking core, but the key is that as they get healthy, they're starting to get turnovers on defense. Now, in 3 games, they've got 3 defensive touchdowns. This is last week. Lorenzo Lynch does the honors in overtime to help the Cardinals get the win. The big key, though, Eric Swan. Now, Eric Swan woke up this morning not feeling too good. In fact, he didn't even come off a pregame warm-up. Real interesting to see what happens with him.
As far as Arizona offensively is concerned, the one guy often overlooked, perhaps the most underrated player in the NFL, is Larry Centers.
Yeah, he only leads the team in pass receiving, only leads the team the last 2 years in receiving. They got to get this guy the ball more. The more he gets the ball, the more he does. It'd be interesting to see what happens. He's going to start now and place a Chad Fan at the fullback position.
All right, when we come back, Fire and Ice at Mile High Stadium, Denver, Colorado. It'll be the Arizona Cardinals and the Denver Broncos up next. You're watching the NFL on Fox. The scores from earlier today. Kansas City only 1 loss all season long. That's bad news, along with a Raider win at Cincinnati for the Bronco fans. And Atlanta continuing to play well. A 34-20 lead over Detroit in the 4th quarter. And New Orleans a 19-10 win over St. Louis. A gorgeous day here at Mile High Stadium, Denver, Colorado. Crowd filing in. We mentioned earlier today the 201st consecutive sellout. What a crowd and what a great sports city this is. Buddy Ryan, in this his 2nd season, the 61-year-old out of Frederick, Oklahoma, is looking for the Cardinals' 3rd straight win. And on the other side, first-year head man Mike Shanahan has come back for a 3rd time to Denver, leaving San Francisco as the Niners offensive coordinator last year. Denver has won the toss, elected to receive. And the 2nd leading return man in the AFC, Glenn Milburn, waits back on the Greg Davis kickoff. Well, normally this time of year, Ron, you look for rain, snow. They saw that 2 weeks ago against Kansas City, but not today.
Yeah, we got these nice big Fox Parkers here that are sitting on the rack, too. It's 60-something degrees, very nice. And tell you, we should have worn shorts and short sleeves maybe, huh?
I hear you. The Broncos and Cards have met just 4 times previously, with Denver holding a 3-0-1 advantage in the all-time series. Davis set to spin it away, and we are underway. Milburn at the 2. Crosses a 15, slips his way to the 25, still on his feet, and crosses the 30 before being dragged down by Lance Brown. So good return by Milburn, and here come the Broncos, led by 35-year-old, 13-year veteran John Elway. 10 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. Up front, the All-Pros Zimmerman and Schlereth on the left side, and the weapons offensively. A wonderful story, the rookie Terrell Davis, joined by Craver in the backfield. Miller, Pritchard, a rough week for him. More on that later. And the tight end, the All-Pro Shannon Sharpe. 1st and 10 Denver, starting from their own 31. Sharp in motion, and they pitch to the rookie Davis. Big hole on the left side, and he's out to the 39. Shy of the first down. Tito Paul tripped him up. And defensively for Arizona, Simmons, Wilson, Swine. We'll talk about him a great deal today up front, along with Bankston, Miller, Hill, and Joyner. Terrific linebacking group in the secondary, where Tito Paul, the aforementioned rookie out of Ohio State, starts in place of Brent Alexander.
I think the big key is Swan. What is his health situation? Is he up to snuff? He's the guy that causes all the drama inside for opposing offense.
Gain of 8 on the first carry by Davis. He'll get it again on a 2nd and 2. First down yardage. Crossing midfield. On the 40 and down to the 30 before being pushed out of bounds by Tito Paul. But what a start for Davis, who leads all rookies in total offense, is also tied for first among rookie running backs in touchdowns.
This is nothing but the cutback play. They're going to start it here and then break it back around. But watch what happens on this side. They all collapse inside, and that makes the play. You know, coming into this game, Arizona has had a lot of problems with the run. And you can see right there the missed tackle by Lorenzo Lynch. So you know John Elway's got the big arm, but they had to try to run it down their throat first. I mean, you're talking about a team that's 30th in the NFL versus the rush. And that man right there, he's one of the leading rookies in terms of running backs as far as total yards from the line of scrimmage is concerned.
Well, Elway, the play clock ticking down under 3, had to spend a timeout. Terrell Davis, a 196 pick in the draft, and boy, is he electrifying the fans in Denver.
Only one had the power of Eric Heitman. Only one has the control of Janet Emmons. Only one had the endurance of Greg LeMond. Only one performs like this. Seville STS with the North Star system. The great performers are always creating a higher standard.
I got it. Tap the Rockies, Coors Light. Tap the Rockies, Coors Light. Hey! Coors Light, the silver bullet. It's shipped cold to tap the clean taste of the Rockies. Tap the Rockies, Coors Light.
Cover for me. I've got the plans.
You got your pen. You can't be taken alive.
I saw you on the monitors. Your clothes. They're very nice.
City casuals. Look good at the office, no matter what kind of day you're having. Hager. Stuff you can wear.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Cadillac and your Cadillac dealer, creating a higher standard. By IBM, solutions for a small planet. By your Allstate agent. For home, auto, life, and business insurance, you're in good hands with Allstate. And by American Express.
Back in the Mile High City, Terrell Davis, his longest run from scrimmage this season a moment ago, 34 yards. First and 10 for the Broncos at the 26, and Elway, his first throw, finds a tight end, Jerry Evans, close to first down yardage, inside the 20, dragged down at the 26, or the 16.
I think this is the part of the field where the Broncos got to start thinking about touchdown. You know, they come into this game in the red area inside the 20 going in, and they're about 21st in the NFL in terms of the touchdown. 26 possessions, only 11 touchdowns. They got to start putting the ball in the end zone and not settling for the field goal.
Well, they only managed 1 touchdown in the loss 2 weeks ago in the snow against Kansas City on what was the biggest game of the season thus far for Mike Shanahan's team.
And you know Elway is real happy about the fact that it is good weather out here today, because he talked to him the other day, and he was going to go with the glove. If it was bad weather, he was going to go with the glove. And for the first time, I think John Elway was psyched out about the weather, and it got to his head, and that really affected him.
Well, Mike Shanahan feeling his team has a legitimate chance to make a run at the playoffs, although winning their division is going to be very difficult now. The Raiders came in with a 2-game lead. Kansas City 3 better, and both of those teams winning earlier today. Gain of 9, 2nd and 1. Davis again, and he falls ahead to the 15. First down. Eric Swan on the stop. Yeah, first down already for Denver.
Right, I'm not convinced though that Eric Swan is 100% healthy. You know, he got a little bit on that play, but you just see the way he walks around. And he reportedly he had to get an intravenous in the locker room before they came out. And he's weak. If he's got anything, what we think it is, a touch of the flu, it just happened overnight. He is very weak, and he looks weak if you look at the way he's just standing around.
First and 10 for the Broncos. At the 15. And again, Davis, big hole up through the middle. And he's inside the 10 to the Arizona 6. Davis, we mentioned, a 6th round pick, the 21st running back taken in the draft.
Eric Swan right there. Watch what happens to him. They're working on him. Habib, the nice push there. But when has it been that easy to get Eric Swan out of the hole like that? I'm going to keep going back to it. Eric Swan's not healthy. Pretty soon, Buddy Ryan's going to have to make a decision. Do you keep him in or get him out? I know he's probably going to be your Pro Bowl, your best defensive tackle in the league, but he's not healthy right now.
Hello, give it to Davis as long as he's running well. Already over 50 yards rushing on this, the opening possession. Not much room this time. Eric Hill there to meet him. Maybe a gain of a yard, very close to the first down.
And you add on the top of the fact that Swan is not healthy. The Cardinals have not done a good job against the run. They average 181 yards per game, giving up that much running. So we would expect this, but I don't think that if Denver comes out here and they sputter a little bit with the run, I think they'll go quick to the pass without a doubt. They won't hesitate to dump that and go to the passing game, but so far they've had the success here.
Second measurement already on this opening Denver drive, and it appears to be good enough, yes, for a first down. Aeneas Williams didn't think so.
Yeah, Aeneas is down there. Wait a minute now. You pull that chain a little bit tighter. That's when you get down there and kick that ball a little bit before they get ready to measure it. Those are little DB tricks, you know.
First and goal as you see this drive.
Okay.
Terrell Davis accounting for 54 of the 64 yards.
Red 25. Red 25. Set up.
Davis again. Into the end zone. Touchdown, Denver.
You know, this is just great blocking on the left side of the line. Zimmerman, Schlereth, the tight end. Sharp's over there. And they bring Schlereth around on the outside. And I know one thing. The Cardinals have got to be a lot better than this against the run, or it's going to be a long, long day.
Well, Buddy Ryan talked a big game coming in here to Denver. On for the extra point, Jason Elam. And it's right down the middle. So Denver on its opening drive marching down the field behind the rookie sensation Terrell Davis. On the field, 7 plays, 69 yards in under 4 minutes. And Terrell Davis, 60 rushes for 60 yards on it. Bear in mind the season high, Davis has never had a 100-yard rushing game, 97 against New England. Marcus Dowdell, Anthony Edwards waiting back on the Jason Elam kick. Far side, it's Dowdell at the 3. Great coverage, and what a hit. A host of orange jerseys.
Now let's go back to the touchdown. This is a perfect, what they call G-pull play. Now this right here is Mark Schlereth. He's going to come around and get a block. These two guys right here, that will be Jenkins and Sharp. They're going to come down and get perfect blocks. And I want you to watch the lane that's created. That's Evans there, 88, right there. Perfect lane. I mean, this is the kind of thing you go to training camp for, is to get those kind of lanes. Jerry Evans, 88, coming over, getting the seal along with Shannon Sharp. That's how you draw it up.
So the opening possession for Arizona, already in a 7-0 hole. Dave Krieg at quarterback, starting this drive at his own 14. Play fake to Garrison Hurst. Chad Fan on the reception. Ball comes loose. Denver says they have it, and they do. Alan Aldridge at the bottom of the pile, and the second-year pro out of Houston able to cover it up. Steve Atwater delivered the hit.
Boy, it was such a nice play, a nice little play action there. Fan out of the backfield. He turns it up, but watch the hit. Right there, Atwater came with that left hand just underneath. And turnovers, turnovers, turnovers. You know, Atwater's actually chasing from the backside. And it looked like he had the ball protected pretty well. That's just a great job of getting that ball in there. What did we see in the Denver Broncos meeting room? Turnovers in huge letters all over the side of the walls. And that's what Mike Shanahan said was the most important thing we had to do today. Get turnovers and force them.
So Elway and company in business. Terrell Davis inside the 25, stopped by Eric Hill. Davis off to the best game of his very young pro career.
Now, I don't know what the problem is, but I look at this Cardinal team and they just don't seem to have any fire right now. I don't know whether it's the altitude, whether you have a guy like Swan who doesn't come out for pregame and maybe that affects them, but there is no spark at all, and they better get it turned up because number 7, he'll turn it up for you.
In a hurry. On a 2nd and 5, blitz coming. Elway gets it away, and he finds Mike Pritchard down close to the 20, shy of the first down. Lorenzo Lynch applying the heat on Elway, and that was part of the Arizona game plan.
Well, yeah, to bring the blitzing, that's Buddy Ryan. That time, they came with Lorenzo Lynch, 29. There he is. He's just coming off the right side, and that gives good pressure. One thing they want to do, talking to the Cardinals last night, they want to try to, number 1, make John Elway throw fast, but also if they can flush him out of that pocket, I figure they're going to take their chances. He'll beat you slower running with the ball than he will sitting in the pocket.
3rd down and 2 for Elway and the Broncos. Early start by the Cards, and the play blown dead. And none of this will mean anything because it's already been stopped. Lorenzo Lynch picking up the fumble, figuring he could have another touchdown.
Yeah, that's Seth Joyner. He jumped on that left side. It wasn't even close.
Offsides on the defense, number 59. Unabated to the quarterback. 5-yard penalty, and Krieg third down.
This is the blitz.
Prior to the snap.
This is the blitz. This is 9 up. Only 2 defenders covering right there. Just a bit offside.
Wow. That'd have been hard to miss. Buddy Ryan's team watched Denver just march right down their throats on the opening drive for a touchdown, and the turnover. Fan coughing up the reception after Krieg delivered it on the money, and now Denver at the 15.
Hey, you know, it's funny talking about Buddy Ryan. What did he say last night?
Please reset the game clock to 9:40.
He said, you'll never catch me in one of those big, ugly green parkas like I had in Philadelphia out here. I don't care how cold it gets. He said, you give me $100,000, yeah, I'll put on a big jacket out here. He got lucky. Today he didn't have to have one.
No.
It was about 20 degrees cooler. I'd like to see what he'd do.
1st and 10 for the Broncos. Blitz coming again, and Terry Ho able to meet Davis behind the line of scrimmage. Davis able to fall forward to the line of scrimmage.
I think coming into this game, the Cardinals, they got to control Michael Dean Perry. You don't want him in your backfield when your offense has been struggling. Centers, we talked about him in the open. Get him the ball more. If they're going to blitz like they're doing, then they got to cover man-to-man. The corners have the onus there. The Broncos, we talked about the red area. They got to be better in that. Neutralize Swan. He's already kind of neutralized himself being sick. And one thing that hurts the 46 defense is a quick, short passing game. We've seen that already with John Elway and the rollouts to the tight end.
Sharp in motion on a 2nd down play. Elway fires inside the 5 and out of bounds at the 1. Anthony Miller looking for his 7th touchdown this season. He only had 5 all of last year.
That is a dangerous play, and John Elway runs it better than anybody has ever run it. They fake the handoff, and now they're going to fake all the action this way. He's going to come around, But what he's looking for is Anthony Miller dragging here. Now look at linebackers. Look at 95 Miller. He doesn't even see him right there. There he is. And that's what they want. They want you to suck up on the tight ends and all the traffic underneath and make that throw behind the linebacker. And once again, that's the quick, short game we're talking about that works so well against the defense because they're so aggressive.
Inside the 1. And did he get in? Aaron Kramer still waiting. And it is a Denver touchdown. Two quick touchdowns for the Broncos. And with under 9 minutes to play in the opening quarter, a chance to take a 14-0 lead.
The low man wins in this situation, and it's just pound football. Habib, Nail, and Schlereth deep inside, and don't underestimate the ability to pound that ball in there when you get real low. You get your lineman underneath the pads of the defense, and you can jump right over.
14-0 Denver. Aaron Kramer, his second touchdown rushing this season. And we'll be back to Denver in a moment.
Introducing Membership Rewards from American Express, a rewards program that makes every dollar you spend add up to a world of choices just by using the card. For a gift, something you need. The possibilities seem endless, and all of them are free. With the Membership Rewards program, you decide where to use your rewards and what works best for you. So enroll today in Membership Rewards. Call 1-800-AXP-EARN.
Any insurance agent knows lightning can strike any day. Fortunately, your Allstate agent knows it can strike any night, too. So if it does, you can call your agent anytime, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. A claims specialist is standing by to help you right away. If your insurance can't deliver claim service day or night, in a flash, maybe you should switch. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Lower your right foot and repeat after me. I promise to be free. I promise to be different. I promise to take the other path. I promise to be unique. I promise to drive an Eldorado with a 300 horsepower North Star V8, a suspension that reads faster than Evelyn Wood, and a body that parts traffic. Eldorado with the North Star system by Cadillac.
Nothing you've ever imagined can prepare you for what's coming.
They make me do things.
Scott Bakula in a world premiere miniseries, The Invaders, begins next Sunday on Fox.
Denver, a 14-0 lead over Arizona, 8:20 to play in the opening quarter. The last thing in the world Buddy Ryan was hoping for on this day. His offense has struggled along with the defense this season and now having to play catch-up.
And the last thing he expected on this day was that his Pro Bowl defensive lineman, future Pro Bowl defensive lineman Swan, would be sick.
Elam kicks it away. Marcus Dowdell at the 1. And again, terrific coverage by the Broncos. Reggie Rivers racing down the field to make the tackle. Let's go back to the touchdown a moment ago.
I want you to watch two people. Now, right here, that's Mark Schlereth. He's going to bury his man. But watch right here. This is Terrell Davis. He's the running back, but the thing about him that people like is the way he blocks. Look at the block that he gets here. And he's going to lead up in the hole, and there Kramer cuts off of his rear end. And tell you what, that is a plus. When you got a guy that can not only run the ball for you as a rookie, but also can block for you, that's big time. And that's what everybody in the organization is so excited about.
Delightful young man, Terrell Davis, will tell his story later today. 1st and 10 for Arizona, starting at their own 15 and trailing 14-0. Garrison Hurst, who played ahead of Davis for his season at Georgia, his first carry and maybe picked up a yard. The tackle by James Jones. Dave Krieg, his 16th season out of Milton, his 13 interceptions, most in the NFC. It's been a makeshift offensive line, the only constant, the All-Pro Duval Love at left guard. And in the backfield, we mentioned Hurst in centers, Moore and the rookie Sanders at the wide receivers, and Wendell Gaines, the tight end. lost his footing. Second down and 9. Hurst juggled, made the catch, cuts it back the other way. First down out to the 29, and Ray Crockett able to catch him from behind. Defensively for Denver, a much improved group from a season ago. Michael Dean Perry, along with James Jones, brought over from Cleveland. Linebacking group of Aldridge, Wyman, and Elijah Alexander. The secondary, very good. Washington and Crockett, the corners, hard hitting. Atwater and Braxton, the safety.
If they got one fault, it's that Atwater sucks up a little bit on the play action. He's too nervous and too anxious to get himself up there and make those big run hits.
First a gain of 13. He'll get it on the ground, flying into the air to the 34. And Tyrone Braxton, you mentioned the fact that Atwater gets all the publicity, but Braxton will put a helmet on you.
I am so impressed with this group back there. They have got two safeties that will come up and rock your world. Now, Atwater has a reputation, but that man right there, not talking about the official, Braxton, he will do it too. And the thing that's good about Braxton is that Braxton used to be a corner. He came to Denver as a corner. You can match him up man to man, as well as use him in the run game.
Sanders in motion on a 2nd and 6. Krieg drills it in there to Rob Moore. He's close to midfield and an Arizona first down. Well, this Arizona offensive line, numerous changes throughout the first half of the season due to injury and poor play.
Well, everybody wants to know why is Krieg up one day and then down the next day. Well, you know, Devall Love is the only guy that's been there that started since game 1. It's just been complete drama everywhere else. Look at the right tackle position. You know, those are the kind of things that make your quarterback just a little bit nervous.
Yeah, Tharp having to go to left tackle because Dyer ruptured Achilles tendon, finished for the season. Centers. Good run out to the 47 of the Broncos, crossing into Denver territory.
What they did, you know, Denver is going to do a lot of 8-man front on first down. Now, they bring up Atwater. He's right over here. But they see that and they check and they run the ball right in here, away from Atwater, away from that 8th man. But look, once again, look at Garrison Hurst lead up in there. You know, this is the age nowadays of, you know, running backs, halfbacks just can't be halfbacks. They got to be a little fullback. They got to be able to do it all. And I think free agency has had something to do with that. You got to be well-rounded back there.
3 wide receivers set on a 2nd and 2. Hole opens up for Centers, and he's across the 45 to the 44. Good enough for another Arizona first down. Dave Wyman on the tackle.
And another thing that I'm seeing, you know, don't forget, this offensive line kind of struggled last week, and I know Larry Tharp didn't exactly have the kind of game he wanted to have, but you got one bread and butter area, and that's over Devall Love, 67, the Pro Bowler. And that's why Buddy Ryan and, you know, they're going to try to run that ball that way and take their chances going that way.
1st and 10 for Arizona on the move. 2nd possession. A fumble by Chad Payne set up the 2nd Denver touchdown. 14-0 Broncos. 4 minutes to go in the opening quarter. Krieg going up top, down the sideline, and overthrows Rob Moore, who had beaten his man. It should have been 6.
Let me tell you what, too. It should have been offensive pass interference. Rob Moore gave Crockett a little bit of a stiff arm. They didn't see it. Straight bump and run. Rob Moore just going to try to blow him away. But I want you to watch his arm, his left arm. Look at that. Right there. That little push is illegal, but hey, it's all fair in love and war, I guess. Once again, we talk about the offensive line. Simon Fletcher, they're shutting him down, shutting down William Dean Perry. That's the 2 guys they got to control. Michael Dean Perry.
His brother William, of course.
I'm thinking of the fridge.
It's hard to miss him. Now they set up the screen. Garrison Hurst, great cut back to the open field, and he will go. Oh, caught from behind at the 5.
What a play, Tyrone Braxton. Tyrone talking to him.
39-yard gain.
They're going to invite the rush on this play and let everybody's going to invite the rush. Let these guys come in, and the linemen are going to come out this way and sneak out. And that's when they're going to throw what they call the screen. See the pressure right there? He's saying, come on in, but that's the move right there. Love and Daphne get a great block. And look at the speed of Tyrone Braxton. That's why you have a safety that can play a little corner. He can run and accelerate and get to you.
First and goal at the 5. Centers. Takes a handoff. Very short gain to the Denver 3. Now this would be a big touchdown for Arizona after falling behind 14-0. And a Cardinal down on the field is Duval Love, the 11th-year All-Pro out of UCLA.
And that's a big problem right there with that man going down.
Now Love came over, an unrestricted free agent from the Steelers, where he spent 3 years. And he is down for the moment, so we'll check back on him. 14-0 Denver, but Arizona knocking on the door. Apparently all right. Second and goal for Arizona. Trailing 14-0. Anthony Redmond, for the time being, is checked back in. Second and goal from the 2. Krieg looking for the end zone. Touchdown, Arizona. Reception made by Rob Moore, but a penalty flag on the field. They could bring this back. Holding Arizona, no touchdown.
Well, all I know is that somebody inside that interior line of the Cardinals just got trucked. I mean, it looked like an 18-wheeler just ran right over him.
Holding on the offense, number 60. 10-yard penalty. Repeat, second down.
Now, that's Anthony Redmond. He came in for that play for Duval Love. Now, Redmond's been injured, and you know, that's one of the reasons he's replaced today by Cecil Gray. But here's the play here. Now, Redmond is right in there, second man in. Simon Fletcher just, woo. Wow, you know, they call a hold there, but in Redmond's defense, he's just trying to keep his rib cage intact. Wow.
Duval Love back into the game. Second and goal. They back him up 10 yards to the 12. Krieg escapes trouble and just throws it away. Third and goal for Arizona.
The initial flush, Michael Dean Perry, the guy we talked about, having to keep him out of your backfield. Cardinals think he's playing better now than he's ever played in his career. Washington on that coverage there. Good job of coming back to the football and staying with the receiver.
Michael Dean Perry, one of 12 children in his family. You throw in the fridge. Well, you throw it in. I don't know how everybody was able to eat.
You slowly move it in.
You have a point. Third and goal at the 12. They barely get it off. Krieg to the end zone. Had it for a moment, then jarred loose. The tight end, Wendell Gaines. And there's Braxton again.
You know, Gaines used to be a defensive end, and he switched to tight end. Buddy Ryan switched him to tight end last year. And this is one of the prices you pay for that. They're not used to holding on to that ball after they get hit. But if you're Braxton, look at the break. You see it all the way. You know you can't get there, but watch this. And the thing is he doesn't demonstrate possession. He doesn't pull that ball in and demonstrate that he's got it for a touchdown.
31-yard field goal try, just barely able to sneak it through as Greg Davis. So Arizona had a touchdown called back due to holding on Anthony Redmond, who had temporarily replaced Duval Love. And it's 14-3 Denver. Well, their newest mission was supposed to bring them back home to earth, but someone doesn't want them to make it. And the killer could be one of their own. Space Above and Beyond returns with a brand new episode tonight at 7 Eastern, 6 Central on Fox.
And, you know, the Cardinals do something very interesting there. They get the ball run on them on defense, and like we said, they didn't look like they had that spark, but they come out offensively, and I think they've looked better on that drive than they've looked the whole season. They really took it down the Broncos' throat. So this is going to be a matchup between who can take the ball and sustain the drive, and the all-important convert the third downs.
See, 72 yards leading to the Davis 31-yard field goal. Took him better than 6 minutes to get there. 2:14 to play in the opening quarter. And a 14-3 Denver lead. Glenn Milberg waiting on the kick from Greg Davis, who, due to the turf here at Denver, which has been maligned all year, is wearing what he calls the Blue Max. Extra long spikes, drilled 3 more holes in his shoe, or 3 additional 3/4-inch spikes. Milburn will bring it out a yard deep. Crossing the 30. Caught from behind at the 38 by Anthony Edwards. Milburn, his second big return of the afternoon after a pair a couple of weeks ago. That one for 40 yards. Well, right now for a McDonald's game break, let's go to Hollywood and James Brown.
Minnesota keeps the NFC Central race tight thanks to that 39-yard field goal with 3 seconds remaining by Fuad Reves, winning it over Green Bay. Gerback looking for the score instead. Tim McKyer picks it off. He returns it 96 yards for the score. Shades of Ron Pitt. San Francisco trailing 10-0. Back to Tom and Ron.
You made a friend. I agree with that. JB, your check's in the mail.
Well, he beat up on you earlier this season. 1st and 10 for the Broncos. Great field position after the return by Milton.
Oh, look at the time.
All day long, and Elway throws it up. Somehow caught. Terrell Davis, he is doing it all here today. And he's pushed out of bounds at the Arizona 43.
You know, a quarterback in the NFL is supposed to only have about 3 seconds to throw the football. But I want you to watch the protection up front for John Elway. We talked about that short passing game. Cardinals do a good job of shutting it down. When you get a guy that can stop his feet, you know, he's not worried about taking hits, obviously. He's worried about picking you apart downfield. This is an outstanding catch. Once again, Terrell Davis, what else can you say about the guy? He blocks, he runs, he catches. Probably has a concession stand outside.
He will soon. If he doesn't already, he banks his way to the Arizona 39. Lorenzo Lynch, the first man there to meet him. Well, Davis, out of high school, a fullback, recruited, opted to go to Long Beach State, recruited by George Allen. In fact, Allen died a year later. The program folded up tent. He then transferred to Georgia. His first year backed up Hurst, led the team in rushing as a junior. But his senior year, a very close friend, his cousin, killed in a random shooting in San Diego, pulled a hamstring, and a 6th-round pick after only a few games at Georgia last season. Elway again, great protection, walks it into Craver. Inside the 20. Falls down and is tapped at the 2 or the 7-yard line by Terry Hogue.
See, they're working on the fact that the Cardinals are so aggressive in this 46 style. Once again, everybody is going to take off one way, and he wants to throw back the other side. Now, Craver's going to see Craver just leaked out to that side. And Seth Joyner, now, he had a big interception last week, but he's about a foot short on that one. And if he can keep his feet here, that was a good block on Hogue. If he can keep his feet here, he'll have a chance to score.
32-yard game on the reception to Craver, who's already rushed in for a touchdown along with Davis. Run blitz coming. And the hole opens up for Davis, sniffing the goal line. And he's just shy of it inside the 1. Michael Bankston able to wrestle down this 200-pound rookie out of Georgia.
Great block by Brian Habib, 75. He'll be to the right of your screen, but look at Hogue. You think he's coming for the blitz or what? But they pick him up. You know, blitzing is fun as long as you don't get picked up. But when they start picking you up, you got to pay a price, and it's usually in your secondary.
End of the first quarter, a 14-3 Denver lead. What a start for the Broncos and rookie Terrell Davis.
Yeah, 10 rushes, 75 yards already. Now, we talked about that coming into this game. Arizona was giving out a lot on the ground as far as rushing is concerned, and they had all the plans in the world to do the right thing, and that's run the football down their throat, and that's what they're doing. And the play action is killing them, too, off of that run action.
Well, Jamil Miller, the #1 pick out of UCLA, told us last night that this Arizona defense came into the season overconfident. The last 3 games have played a little better, but Denver piling up the yards here today. 2nd and goal at the 1. Play fake to Davis in the end zone. Touchdown, Aaron Craver.
See, they're so shell-shocked from the run. Watch all the white shirts attack when the running back goes in the air. That's Terrell Davis, 30, but look at Craver. Nobody even sees him. That's what happens when you get your run working. You get the defense preoccupied with stopping that run. They get what they call a nose problem, and they forget about the pass as still a possibility.
Tom ruined the hold and the extra point right down the middle for Jason Elam. 21-3 Denver. With 14:56 to go until halftime, the Broncos rolling over the Cards.
How did Plymouth Voyager get to be the best overall value in minivans? It all starts here. Use clever ideas like cab forward design, built-in loads of safety, and exclusive easy-out roller seats. Make it roomier, quieter, and offer the only driver's side sliding door. Then make it the most affordable. Plymouth Voyager, starting at $17,500. Get a great Voyager lease price right here, right now. See your Plymouth dealer.
Enter the future. Vector Man, the most revolutionary game ever for Sega Genesis. And play to win for a chance at a $25,000 grand prize. Vector Man, resistance is futile. Sega.
The Workmate Shop Box has storage space inside and a unique clamping top on the outside, so it's an easier way to set up shop. The Workmate Shop Box from Black & Decker. It's how things get done.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by the all-new Plymouth Voyager, the next generation of the minivan. By the new Braun Flex Integral for Braun's closest shave yet. By Aflac, ensuring over 38 million people worldwide. And by Miller Lite. When you've got the great taste of an ice-cold Miller Lite, life is good.
Native Americans first called this valued animal of the plains Tatanka, more commonly referred to these days, the buffalo. Tremendous setting out here in the state of Colorado, and Broncos a 21-3 lead just underway in the second quarter. Dowdell and Edwards wait on the Elam kickoff. Dowdell a yard deep. Finds a seam and brings it out to the 20. And there on the stop, Rod Smith. Let's go back to the touchdown a moment ago, the third for Denver in the game.
I want you to watch these guys right here, these three. Now, look what the play action does to him. You tell me if they don't think it's run or not. But they don't see Craver right there. Look at that. They got what they want. That's what play action is designed to do, to make you think one thing's happening and something else is happening.
John Elway 6 out of 6 in the game, and set up, as you pointed out, Ron, by the power running game of Davis thus far. Garrison Hurst to the 23. Wrapping him up, Steve Atwater. It'll bring up second down and 7 for Arizona.
That is why the Broncos use the 8-man front on first down, and that man is the 8th man. They are expecting run all the way, and they dare you to run the football. He comes up, you can't match it, assuming your quarterback doesn't block. Now watch this guy right here. He represents Steve Atwater, number 27. He creeps up in there, and then when you measure it in the box, it's 8 men. And if you don't count your quarterback, you got 7 men on the other side of the line of scrimmage. You just can't pick it up.
Early movement, and the clock will be stopped. Did Denver start early, or was it movement by a Cardinal, perhaps? Mike Carey will take center stage.
Before the snap, there's a false start. Number 66, offense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat, second down.
That's Cecil Gray. He was just brought in a week ago, replaced Redmond. Cecil Gray's going to move back just a bit right there on that side. I didn't see much of movement over there. I saw a defensive lineman come across.
Looked like Shane Dronette. may have broken the play. Nonetheless, it goes from a 2nd and 6 to a 2nd and 11.
Hey.
Krieg Rose somehow making the catch is Rob Moore, and there's a penalty flag down on the field. He had to make the catch while a defender was draped over his back.
Rob Moore, he's working man-to-man on Lionel Washington, and he's just going to come down the field and then hook up in this area right here. You can see when Washington's got that hand on the back right up by his neck. But you don't know what they're going to call it. I mean, there's so much contact between the two of them in there. And Lionel Washington, he represents one of the best pure bump and run corners in the league, coming from the Raiders, where they did a lot of bump and run for years. He's a master at it. It's funny, I was talking to Billy Thompson, the former Bronco.
Holy defense, number 48. That penalty is refused. Excuse me, that penalty accepted. 5-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
Okay, so they took the penalty.
Well, an automatic first down, it would have brought up 3rd down.
Yeah, anyway, Billy Thompson, who works with the Broncos front office right now, he's telling me a lot about Lionel Washington and how he would like to see more corners around the league master the art of bump and run like he has mastered it. And it's a lost technique. You don't see much of it. The Dallas Cowboys use that 4-cross deal, and that's what we see now. The bump and run is dying out.
First and 10 is across the 23, and Larry Centers slips ahead across the 25. Brett Hager in on the tackle. The last real bump and run team that of note, we recall anyway, that did it just about every play, the old Cleveland Browns.
Absolutely.
Hanford, Dixon, and Minifield in that group.
They were technicians at it. They were probably the best it's ever been. I'd say they were a little bit better than maybe Haynes or Lester. They really refined the technique, but the way the game has changed, you just don't see much of it. People want their corners to be able to look into the backfield and see the quarterback and break on the short route.
Krieg on a 2nd and 8. Spins out of trouble. And the catch is made shy of the first down by Rob Moore, and a late flag comes in. Looked to be about a yard short. Again against Denver.
That's Washington down. He hasn't moved since he hit the ground.
Well, Lionel Washington, as Ron mentioned, came over from the Raiders. Originally a Cardinal was Lionel Washington. Drafted in the 4th round back in '83. Spent 4 seasons with the St. Louis Cardinals.
It's hard to see what happened there. Atwater there trying to slow Washington a bit. He came down, made the play, came over the top of Moore. Now Washington, he's right there. They're starting to scramble, and he's working back toward the ball, but also here comes Crockett on the other side. Yeah, and he got his shoulder, he got his head right there. You can see he's pretty well dinged before he even hits the ground. You talk about being a corner and being able to stay in the league a long time. Here's a guy, 13 years in the NFL. You don't do that by being toast. You got to be a good cover guy. And like we said, that's a lost art, I think, a little bit, because as the offenses go to that West Coast quick passing game style, well, what good is it to have your defensive back in a situation where you can't see that throw? They want everybody to see the quick throws now.
Well, good to see Washington back on his feet.
This is one reason why in the offseason they have guys working on what they call the 4x4 neck machine to strengthen their neck muscles. Watch right there. He got his head right just on the inside of Crockett. I just say you take more hits, more injuries really occur from hitting your own people. Friendly fire, so to speak.
Great shot by our Fox crew here at Mile High Stadium in Denver. 12:24 to play until halftime, and it looks as though we will see Washington back in the game. 21-3 Broncos in front.
Talk about durable. 3rd most games for active defensive backs in the league right now. Darrell Green is number 1. Bill Bates, number 2.
So Rondell Jones was in for a moment, came trotting back off the field. First and 10. Good protection. Krieg, the long ball down the sideline, broken up. Terrific coverage by Eric Thomas, the former All-Pro back in '88 with Cincinnati, and he was the man in there replacing Lionel Washington. Well, we remind you, next week, the NFL's oldest rivalry heats up, the Chicago Bears and the Green Bay Packers. And then how about the second game, the 49ers and the Dallas Cowboys. It all begins at noon Eastern, 9 Pacific. To local listings for the game and time in your area. We will be in Buffalo for the Falcons and the Bills.
Now, we might need those Parkers in.
Yes.
We're not going to get lucky like today.
Hurst takes the pitch, spins his way across the 40 to the 45, good enough for a first down.
Now, that is one thing. As we look at Crockett there, who missed the tackle, he can't believe he missed it. You know, that is one thing that Garrison Hurst does. He cuts back against the grain. Now, he's going to come around this way, but he's going to be stopped up. Look at all the orange shirts there. Crockett there, he doesn't wrap up, but look at the spin move. And then he always works back across the grain. That's one thing I noticed that Garrison Hurst does a good job of. That's because Buddy made him push that wheelbarrow last year when he was injured.
Well, Hurst, the #1 pick, 3rd overall in the '93 draft. Coming of age this season. On a first down, Krieg just throws it away under heavy heat.
John with a nice catch there.
He does nothing wrong in Denver.
It's funny talking to his dad, Jack Elway. You know, him and Elijah, they spent time in Palm Springs together doing some golfing. And he said, you know, I'll be darned when he wasn't born, this little knock-knee kid, I wouldn't believe that he'd amount to anything. But tell you what, he has.
I should say, a future Hall of Famer, a chance today to become just the 6th quarterback in NFL history to eclipse 40,000 yards passing. Lionel Washington back in for Denver.
He got him on the hard count. He got Michael Dean.
And Dan Williams, it looked like, the #1 pick out of Toledo.
Michael Dean saying, yeah, they got me.
Before the snap, encroachment on the defense, number 90. 5-yard penalty, repeat, 2nd down.
Well, actually, he called number 90. So that's Dan Williams, who you just mentioned. Let's listen to the sound of what they hear that makes them jump sometimes.
Ball at midfield, 2nd down, and 5 for the Cardinals after the penalty. Centers, tries to break it outside, read beautifully by Alan Aldridge. Loss on the play, brings up 3rd and close to 7.
You know, an interesting thing about Alan Aldridge, now, he plays what they call the will linebacker, the weak side linebacker. And in most cases, that linebacker handles the pass play. You know, he'll cover and do things like that, maybe blitz off that side. But he is actually the run linebacker, and they do that to confuse teams. He is actually, when you run toward him, thinking you're running toward the weak side, you're actually running into their running strength.
Crowd coming alive for the first time all day on a 3rd and 7. Steps up, throws to Rob Moore. Cardinal first down to the Denver 44. Washington on the coverage and the tackle.
We talked earlier about the offensive line. As we look at Rob Moore, a little dinged up. That offensive line has been shuffled around and shuffled around, but yet somehow Krieg finds a way to make things happen. You talk about why did they bring this guy in? There's a lot of criticism. Is this the guy that can take this team to where they need to go? Well, the fact that he can step up in the midst of all that confusion and make plays, that's why they brought him in.
The human face, difficult terrain, perfect for Braun's new 3-stage shaving system. One foil removes short hairs, an integrated cutter, longer hairs. The second foil completes the job. For Braun's closest shave yet.
Welcome back to Ace Season Savings. Here comes a little something for all you do-it-yourselfers.
followed by a traditional holiday favorite. And some handy gift ideas. Ace season savings. March in today.
To play for a team in the NBA, taking it downtown, crashing the boards. With DirecTV's NBA Team Pass, at least I can follow any team. Or I can give it the full court press, NBA League Pass. Every team, the Magic, Knicks, Rockets, Suns, up to 30 great matchups every week. Yeah, I could be out there with those guys. Really, I could. You won't find the NBA like this on cable, so call 1-800-DIRECTV.
Plymouth Neon Coupe with a zippy 2-liter 16-valve engine, ride-tuned suspension, a 5-speed tranny, and 132 wild ponies. It's a pretty hot little number. Plymouth Neon Coupe, just $99.95. Get a great neon lease price right here, right now. Pop into your Plymouth dealer today.
Keanu Reeves, Winona Ryder, and Gary Oldman in a world broadcast premiere. Bram Stoker's Dracula. Tuesday, parental discretion advised.
Rob Moore, the injured Cardinal, appears to be okay. 21-3 Denver. First and 10 for the Cardinals at the Bronco 44. Hurst is not going to escape the tackle this time. Britt Hager stepping up to make the play, had help from Michael Dean Perry.
Britt Hager's a guy that really amazes me. Now, right before the New England game a couple weeks ago, he has orthoscopic surgery. They took some cartilage out of his knee. Now, usually that's a surgery that you're out for about 3 to 4 weeks. I know, I've had a couple. But this guy, they had it on Tuesday. He practiced Friday and played Sunday against New England. I told Mike Shanahan yesterday, he must be taking some pretty good vitamins. Yeah. Can I have some of those?
Second down. Arizona, Krieg to throw, short drop, and a little too high for Larry Centers out of the backfield. Well, our Aflac trivia question time. And here you go. Who is the last player to return a punt for a touchdown against the Cardinals? Oh, I have a feeling.
Do you?
That
I wasn't
player could be here today. Buddy Ryan hoping his team can draw closer into Denver territory, trailing 21-3.
Yeah, but they got to give Krieg the time.
He's in trouble. Down he goes. Michael Dean Perry, the first man there, his 5th sack of the season, the 11th in the last 4 games for the Denver defense.
We talked about that in the points, what they had to do to be successful. One of them, as we have a penalty here, was to keep Michael Dean Perry out of your backfield.
After the play was over, there are 2 personal fouls. One on the offense, number 71, and one on the defense, number 59. They offset, brings a 4th down.
Well, Larry Tharp and Glenn Cadrez tangling up. Well, Arizona, after the sack of Krieg, having to punt away. Krieg sacked for the 450th time in his career. And you want to play quarterback in the NFL.
That could be a good one. Oh.
Into the end zone, and Denver will take over at the 20. So 8:54 to play until halftime. Eagles a 53-yard boot. All Broncos so far. 3 Denver Broncos with the football, and they're 9 minutes until halftime.
The thing I've seen is that there's a difference between the amount of protection Elway's getting and the amount of protection Krieg is getting. But look at the first 3 possessions here for Denver, and that's key. We talked about that in the red area. They are not field goals, they're touchdowns. They had to improve in the red area, and that's the difference in this game so far.
Second touchdown set up by a Chad Fan fumble. So the Bronco offense running in 5th gear early on today. Again, great protection. Open receiver Davis. Tackled close to the first down, out to the 30 by Jameer Miller. Well, We've given you time to think about our Aflac trivia question. Last player to return a punt for a touchdown against the Cardinals. Take a look at this fella. The man to my right, Ron Pitts of the Green Bay Packers. December 18th, 88, 63 yards against the Cardinals. The initial season at Sun Devil Stadium, still trying to catch his breath.
Yeah, I am. A couple pounds lighter, too.
Not many. Davis off the right side on a first down carry. Out to the 34.
See, this is what's really throwing off the Cardinals. They'll give them a little taste of that run just to get their heart rate up a bit. But you know Elway is going to fake that run just like they did in the goal line, roll out, and throw that quick passing game. This kills a 46 type of team. Your linebackers are so active. You're always sneaking that strong safety around. And what happens is they can't react fast enough. A lot of times they're out of position. And that's what we see here.
Terrell Davis, 11 carries, 79 yards, and a touchdown. Comes a blitz. They pick it up wide open. Shannon Sharp crossing midfield, steps out of bounds inside the 40. Let's send it back to Hollywood for a McDonald's game break and James Brown.
Hey, Tom, Seattle looking to end a 4-game losing streak. Hey, look, they're on the right path. Joey Galloway taking a punt. Is he gone? Yes, indeed. Look at these nifty moves as he hits 89 yards to pay dirt. 21-10 Seattle over the Giants in the second. Back to Tom and Ron.
We got some Giants fans here in our crew that aren't going to like that one.
No, they haven't liked the last 2 years. 21-3 Denver. First and 10 after the big gain by Shannon Sharp. Well, look at Terrell Davis. Keeps the feet moving, picks up a couple of extra yards to the Arizona 35. Well, there are a lot of scouts around that handle the college draft and watching college players. And everybody, I mean everybody, missed out on Terrell Davis coming out of Georgia.
You know, they're in there. 6th round pick. You don't expect a lot from a guy like that, but sometimes that's the best way to come into this league where people don't expect too much from you, because anything positive you do is really a positive.
Elway, here comes a blitz, and he just throws it away. Jim Miller from one side, Seth Joyner the closest to flying the heat.
Oh, he didn't even see Jerry Evans, 88, running scot-free down the field. But going back to this man, I can't say enough positive about him. You know, you talk about what he does well and what his assets are. Great hands, we've seen that. Blocker, we've already seen that in the goal line play. Exceptionally strong and durable. I mean, you can pump it to him 25, 35 times a game. That's what Mike Shanahan said. One problem, though, he's got to learn the game. It's like 1 step forward, 2 steps back, you know, as far as learning what to do out there. But that comes with a rookie.
Davis out of the game on this 3rd and 7. 4 receivers set for Elway. And breaking, able to look back just in time, Ed McCaffrey. Penalty flag on the field. McCaffrey's reception took him inside the 20.
You know, they got a flag on the play, but I don't even believe that McCaffrey was in a position to get as close to the ball as he did.
Great
that was
catch.
An incredible play. This guy has done nothing but step up his game every single week he's been there. And you know what? Defenses come in here.
Holding the offense, number 66. Penalty is declined. 4th down.
The free agent, that's Tom Nalen, 66, the center, got called for it. But McCaffrey, he's a free agent, comes in from San Francisco, and that's a smart move by Shanahan. He knows this West Coast offense and this style of offense that he's going to play. But this guy makes play after play. And like I said, defenses come in here, I don't think they game plan for him. And speaking of game plan, how about this field goal attempt?
Ball spotted at the 43-yard line. They're going to call it 42, which would make it a 52-yard attempt. And Arizona spending a timeout. So we have a break in the action. Buddy Ryan and the Cardinals trailing with 6:25 until halftime, 21-3.
Play with McCaffrey. They didn't give him the catch, but they should have given him the catch for effort alone. First of all, it's amazing that he even finds the ball, but now watch where this ball ends up. There it is. This guy ends up with the ball between his legs.
And just reaches in there and pulls it in. 52-yard try. Elam's hit twice from this distance this season and make it a 3rd time. 4th field goal of 50 or more yards. And they tell us that one will officially be registered at 53, his season high.
That is what happens when you don't rush the kicker. When you sit back and say, well, that's too far for him, he won't make it. Watch all the white shirts drop out. You know, you got 3 guys, 4 guys, 5 guys that don't rush the kicker inside. You got to get penetration because that ball came out so low for 53 yards. There's just no way he's going to be able to make that if you got penetration.
24-3 Denver. We tell you, when they were growing up on the streets of New York, they used to break the law. Now they are the law. The hippest cops on TV work the toughest beat in the nation. New York Undercover, Thursday at 9 Eastern, 8 Central on Fox.
Steve Atwater told us yesterday that he wanted to know if we could pull some strings for him so he could be in that show. And I said, come on, you got to be kidding, right? He said, no, seriously, I want a part in New York Undercover.
Says he tapes it every week, loves the show. And we said, well, we'll talk to the powers that be.
Yeah, we'll see what we can do.
We don't have much pull, the two of us, but we might know some people who do.
It might cost them a couple $1,000s, but we can get it done.
Marcus Dowdell from his own goal line. And the Broncos have done an exceptional job all day long on kickoff coverage. Pedrez there.
I look at the Cardinal defense, and the one thing that stands out, or doesn't stand out in my mind, is 98 Eric Swan. Where is he? Yeah, we talked about him being sick coming into the game, and I think that's a big factor. John Elway can do whatever he wants. He's got the time to do whatever he wants, and that's key. And as you can look at Swan there, he doesn't exactly look like he's having a Pro Bowl day. You can tell he is not well. You have that flu, boy, or whatever he has, and you got to take that intravenous. It just sucks all your energy.
Trailing by 21. Garrison Hurst tackled by Tyrone Braxton out to the 25.
See, first down, the Broncos do one thing. They've come up to an 8-man front. Now, they get everybody blocked, but watch the guy who makes the tackle. It's going to be 34 Braxton coming from the safety position. They got what they want, got what they want. Look at that right there. That's the one guy they can't account for. Now, the way they can attack that, play action, throw the ball. Make them pay the price for having that safety up there by the line of scrimmage where he doesn't belong. Keep him back there in the secondary. Keep him honest.
Krieg on a 2nd and 6. Good protection. Finds Rob Moore, who left with an injury earlier in the game, back in there, and he's close to a first down. Eric Thomas, who came in for the injured Lionel Washington earlier, back in there on this play.
Yeah, and Moore, he's not right. He's definitely hurting still from that injury he took or got about a series ago. But one thing you'll notice from the Broncos secondary, their secondary people do a lot of tackling. Look at the top 3 tacklers. They're all defensive backs. And, you know, Atwater's going to be your #1 tackler in most cases because of the way this defense is, but those other 2 guys, they're just flying around.
1st and 10, 5 defensive backs check in for Denver. Larry Centers able to get away from the arms of Alan Aldridge, but only picked up about another yard or 2 before Harold Hasselback made the stop.
I don't think Buddy Ryan has enough confidence in the overall composition of the offensive line because they've been moved around so much to put Krieg in the pocket and throw the ball, which is what they need to do. And now Denver realizes that they're not going to throw it that much on first down, so that's why they're coming up with that 8-man front.
Krieg on a 2nd and 3. Dumps it off out of the backfield. Larry Centers still on his feet out to the 47. Centers certainly the heart and soul of not only the Arizona offense, but this entire Cardinal team. He is a terrific player. And I don't know how he didn't make the Pro Bowl last year with 77 receptions.
Yeah, exactly. You talk to most scouts, and they'll tell you that the one thing they look for in backs coming out of college is how many tackles they break, how many yards they gain after the first tackle. I can't believe he makes that throw right between the defender, but look at this. That's 1, 2, still on his feet. That is the key thing. How many yards can you make after the initial hit? And Larry Sanders makes a ton after the initial hit.
Lionel Washington back to the sidelines for Denver. Sanders cuts it back the other way and loses a yard. Michael P. Perry, 5-time Pro Bowler The opening game of the season against Buffalo, injured his right knee, requiring surgery, missed a couple of games, but now that he's back, Denver thinks the defense will tighten up.
Well, that's the whole deal. They're in the 43 defense now. You know, they've run that 34 for so many years, but they couldn't run the 43 because they didn't have 4 solid stud-type linemen to take care of the front 5 of the offensive line. Now they got that, and he helps it inside.
Whoa, whoa, whoa!
Krieg for the goods. Has a man. Rob Moore all the way down to the 10-yard line. So Arizona closing in on a 2-minute warning to the Bronco 10, trailing by 21.
See, this is what we talked about. Now, they didn't really believe, Rondell Jones 31 and Eric Thomas 26 for the Broncos, they didn't believe that Krieg was going to throw that football. They had a combination coverage on him, a cover 2 as they call it. The 2 safeties will be in a deep part of the field. They forgot about him on the outside of that field.
Well, Krieg will talk things over with Dave Atkins, the Cardinal offensive coordinator, as we have gotten down to the 2-minute warning. Denver leading 24-3.
My name's Bond. James Bond.
Sergeyevna Onatop.
Onatop?
Onatop.
Bond is back.
I enjoy a spirited ride as much as the next girl. Who's that?
The next girl.
And things are starting to heat up.
One rises to meet a challenge.
United Artists brings you
No more foreplay.
GoldenEye, rated PG-13. Starts Friday, November 17th.
Cold-filtered Miller Genuine Draft. The cold one. You know the beer, you know the taste. With Miller Genuine Draft, the world's a very cool place.
Now, you can save 25% off regular prices on some of Goodyear's most popular passenger performance and light truck tires. Everyday low prices start at only $19.99. Believe it. Just turn up at any participating Goodyear retailer. But hurry, this sale ends soon.
Okay, board. Who thinks Dion should play wide receiver?
Fade back, he's got Dion wide open, one and catch!
I hope Coach Schwitzer's checking this out.
Football according to Dion. Primetime NFL. Sports.
Eric Thomas right there. He's going to fall off into this zone here. Rob Moore's going to blow right by him. But now it looks as though 31, Rondell Jones, didn't believe that Krieg was going to have time to throw that football over his head, because Krieg has been under a lot of pressure. But he got protection, and it's been erratic. You know, sometimes he gets protection, sometimes he doesn't. But of course, the Broncos didn't bring the linebackers. They dropped everybody, and that made a big difference too.
First and 10 at the Bronco 11. Krieg cannot escape this time. James Jones, the first man there, and had help from Simon Fletcher.
See, it's one good down, then one bad down. And that's been the problem up front. Now, if you're Krieg, you're trying to look down the middle of the field. You need vision. You need to be able to set, look, and throw. But the only thing he sees downfield is a big number 73 and then a number 93 on the other side. And then the beautiful green grass here at Mile High Stadium.
Well, the Cardinals of late have done a better job at 2 sacks today on Krieg. Second down. Open receiver, catch made by Oscar McBride, the rookie out of Notre Dame. Clock continues to run under a minute 25.
Well, that's a big hit there. You hear those helmets clack. Now, he's a load now, 266. You're not just going to throw him a flipper and put him on the ground, especially when you're Crockett at 5'10", 185 pounds. You got to make sure you eat a lot of oatmeal and get low before that hit.
Well, the Arizona Cardinals have 559 pounds worth of tight ends. And McBride and Gaines, third down. And 8 for the Cardinals. Catch shy of the first down is made inside the 5, and again it's Rob Moore
I don't know how many more hits Rob Moore can take. This is like the 9th round of a heavyweight fight. He's taking shots. They're sending him in that middle. And Atwater, 27, watch the hit he makes. This is the problem you got for a receiver when you throw in the zones. Yeah, you may catch it, but you will pay a toll.
And so after the sack of Dave Krieg, Buddy Ryan sends his field goal unit out. The holder, Jeff Beagles, ball spotted at the 10, so a 20-yard try by Davis. And he got it. So with 4 seconds to play until halftime, Denver a 24-6 lead. Are you a little surprised that Buddy Ryan did not think about going for the touchdown?
Well, I think what Buddy knows he needs right now, he needs points. The last thing he needs to do is go down the field. Once again, another good drive by the Cardinals. Go down the field and not score. He's got to go into halftime and tell his team, hey, okay, we got points. Let's just keep plugging. The Broncos got to be very careful now not to get overconfident. Sometimes the worst thing that can happen to a team is to go out, jump on a team, and then go in at halftime and start feeling real good about yourself and get shelled coming out in the second half.
Well, the Broncos have had a tendency to do that. Bear in mind,
Absolutely.
The last 10 times they have played a team with less than a 500 record, they have lost 7 of those games.
Absolutely. And this is a perfect setting for it right here. They got to keep up on their toes.
Well, we remind you, coming up on the Dockers halftime, we'll have all the scores and highlights around the NFL. That's all up next on the Dockers halftime.
Is Mile High Stadium this quiet?
I've been here quite a few times and never heard it this quiet.
We are in Mile High. Right?
Here we are, believe it or not. 65 degrees, a quiet crowd. Normally not the case here in Bronco land. Terrell Davis, or rather Aaron Craver, handling the kickoff, and that will end the first half. So our score, Denver 24, Arizona 6. Fox NFL Sunday will continue with the Dockers halftime after this message and a word from your local station.
Time along with Terry Bradshaw. I'm James Brown. Say hello to the big folks in Arizona and Denver.
How y'all doing?
All right, and the score there, look at this, 24-6. The Broncos are doing it to the Cardinals. Terrell Davis, big first half, 81 yards on the ground.
They're doing a fine job. Elway turning around, handing off. Glad to see it's not snowing. Davis over. Terry Hogue hits him at the 1. Can't stop him. Davis in. First half, Cardinals. Wow, 24-6 over Buddy Ryan's. That's the Broncos over Buddy Ryan's Cardinals.
Meanwhile, in San Francisco, 13 points for Carolina off of 3 turnovers.
Steve Young sprang left shoulder, 1 play. Elvis Gerbach gets his second start. 196 yards in the first half, but no points. 49ers looking. Gerbach pump, fires. Oh! There he is. Who is that picking that off? You know, absolutely, JB. 96 yards all the way. Touchdown, Carolina looking to win 4 in a row. I did not misread that. 4 in a row. 13-0 in the first half over the 49ers.
You know McKyer, he will be talking about that one. New York and Seattle.
When you think about Seattle, you think about Seattle.
Galloway.
No.
Fast Joey Galloway.
Great name for a running back, quarterback, any kind of name. Down the sideline, wide receiver goes all the way. Touchdown. Seattle taking an early lead in this game. Meyer with 2 touchdown passes to Vinny Blaze. But back comes Dave Brown. Looks over to the sideline. Mike Sherrard makes a 28-yard TD reception. 2 touchdown passes in the first half for Brown. 21-16, Seattle leading in the first half.
Galloway with 4.3 40 speed. I say that's fast. Buffalo and Indianapolis, it's the Bills on top, 16-7. That one late in the second quarter play. Pittsburgh is holding to a touchdown lead over the Bears. That at the half. Green Bay at Minnesota, Brett Favre got hurt.
Left guard Taylor steps on his ankle, sprained left ankle, does return in the second half, goes 3 for 10 for 19 yards, 2 picks, is pulled. But Warren Moon back, touchdown to Chris Carter, up 17-16 Minnesota. Favre back, trying the left ankle, Shemur down the middle of the tight end, overthrown, that's picked off, interception. Now back comes Detmer. Shemur, touchdown reception. They go for 2. It hits Edgar Bennett, 31. Tied the ball game up, though. It's caught. Then here, Revez with a 39-yarder. He wins the football game at after missing a 42-yarder earlier in regular play. Well, actually, this never went in. I wanted to say overtime, JB.
Rivez must have a big foot. I heard that punch all the way here. Speaking of punch, boy, miseries continue for Fonts.
Fonts, hey, trying to get this thing righted, but he can't do it as Alton Montgomery steps in front, intercepts Mitchell, 72 yards, interception return. Get it? There you go, all the way down. Boy, what a great game for the Atlanta Falcons as they go to 6-3, and they are, June Jones, they are playing outstanding football.
And Metcalf, 5 straight games with a touchdown. That is a team record. Now, Mr. Bradshaw, would you like to bring some more scores and highlights to the folks' way when we come back?
Absolutely,
That's
JB.
exactly
I look forward to it.
You look forward to that? Is he pumped up? And believe it or not, he's off his medication. The arm is all right.
I'm going to get on it, though.
Back
right
on
now.
Oh,
I'm going to get on. I'm going to take a pill.
And welcome back to the Dockers Halftime, along with my partner, Terry Bradshaw. I'm James Brown. Let's bring you up to date on scores around the league. Yes, the Saints beat the Rams 19-10.
Well, they had to come from behind. You see Isaac Bruce down the right sideline, past the safety, through the corner, 55-yard touchdown reception. The Saints had only given up one play over 25 yards, but they come back. Ray Zellers in, touchdown. Saints going to win this game 19-10. And boy, I tell you what, 31 sacks now total by the Saints. They lead the NFL.
All right, Steve Bono had his way against Washington today.
He had his way. Look at this. Willie Davis inside the right corner before the safety, past the linebacker. Touchdown, 19-yard reception. Kansas City rolls 24-3. Now go to 8-1.
Jeff Hostetler was back at the helm for the Oakland Raiders today.
The Hoss was back. Leadership played a key role. Looking right, fires left. 34-yard TD reception by Tim Brown as the Raiders had to pull off a little shocker of their own, 20-17. The Bengals came back in the second half, JB.
And as you can see, Harvey Williams provided big help on the ground, 134 yards. Hey, where was Art Modell today?
He was home, taking a nap. 35 years. First time in 35 years he did not show up for a game. Probably a good thing as we watch Chandler hook up with Haywood Jeffries. 23-yard TD reception. Get this, the Oilers, Memphis Oilers take on the Baltimore Browns and upset them 37-10.
Chandler, 1 rushing touchdown, 2 passing in that victory. And Bill Parcells like being back home.
Well, they need a victory, the Patriots, and they get it today. Rookie Curtis Martin runs it right in from 9 yards out. His second touchdown rushing of the game as New England beats the Jets, who don't have a quarterback, 20-7.
And, of course, at home, I'm talking about back in the Meadowlands as he talked about that victory. I love it when you get excited like that.
I'm always excited.
More halftime after this.
Fox Crew back at Mile High Stadium in Denver. At halftime, the Broncos in front 24-6, and they came out and, just as you pointed out, ran it right down Arizona's throat.
Yeah, that was their bread and butter. Coming into the game knowing Arizona's 30th in the NFL and stopping the rush, that was their whole deal. Terrell Davis, he has really gotten on track for him. You know, he's making the big running play. He talked about wanting to do that, make the big running play. This is in the first quarter. The off-tackle play, they bounced it outside. And you can see the missed tackle by Lorenzo Lynch, but this is what this guy wanted to do. And he runs a lot stronger. We've already talked about the good things he does as far as catching and blocking and all that. I think he's just a complete back as a rookie. And now that running sets up this kind of stuff right here. You know, you get everybody worried about the run. Watch the 3 linebackers. Watch 53, 58, 56 right there. Hey, you think they've thought about the pass at all? I don't think so. And to add to this, the fact that you've got Eric Swan, who has played a very limited amount of plays, I think we're going to see even more of this running and that play-action type stuff. Because really now, John Elway, he has no threat in the backfield. He can sit back there all day and all night and throw the football. Big thing here in my mind as we look at the sacks, that's key. But this right here, it's who scored, because Cardinals have had the football. They have sustained drives. They've gone down the field. But you got to get that ball into the end zone. You got to score touchdowns. That's what we talked about with the Broncos. That's what they had to do.
Well, Arizona will receive to begin the second half, trailing 24-6. And Jason Elam puts a foot on the ball. And a couple of yards deep this time. Dowdell will just take a knee. And the Arizona offense will put it in play at the 20.
I think if I'm Dave Krieg and you're Atkins, the offensive coordinator, you got to come out here and, number one, not panic. You look at the score, the numbers don't look real good, but you got to know that you've moved the ball down the field. You've had success against this defense. They got to get the centers even more. Now, I don't know how much more they can go to Rob Moore. Rob Moore looks like he's pretty banged up. But those are their weapons. And I think they got to throw on passing downs. And, they got to throw on running downs and pass on something like that.
Right. Yeah. We've all been down that road. First and 10 at the 20. And they hand it off. Garrison Hurst. Big hole opens up, and he's out to the 35. 15-yard gain by Hurst. Well, that's Alexander caught him.
Well, that's a run on a running down, first down. How about that?
There you go.
This is just going to open up right down the middle, but once again, watch the way Garrison Hurst picks his holes. See right there, he cuts it back, and now Braxton, he represents that 8th man up there trying to stop the run, that 8-man front. That's a good job, good vision by Garrison Hurst.
Hurst came in the 7th leading rusher in the NFC. And he'll get it again. Trying to add to his totals. Not much room this time. Dave Wyman steps in from his middle linebacking spot. Wyman, of course, hit with a $12,000 fine on his hit against Oakland's Jeff Hostetler. Wasn't suspended for a game, was thrown out of that game and missed the final 3 quarters. So that is a hearty fine.
Now here's another guy. They call him Mr. Rehab. He's had a bunch of knee surgeries, and he keeps coming back and playing. 9th year in the league from Stanford. He represents your solid veteran in there as the linebacker. They haven't had a real solid guy in there, I think, since back to the days of Randy Gradishaw.
2nd and 8, batted ball at the line of scrimmage. And kind of tough to tell who may have gotten a hand on that. Looked like Michael Dean Perry was in on the mix. And it'll bring up 3rd down.
Well, Elway, you got to look at that with a big grain of salt because he's had the time. But Craig, they're getting the yards. And the one thing that will get Denver in trouble faster than anything else, I think, is the turnovers. It'll get anybody in trouble, but that's one of the things that Mike Shanahan, that they harp on. It's written all over their walls in the locker room. No turnover. And this is when they got to give Dave Craig the protection.
And we keep it back in to help now. First by Garrison Hurst, thrown across the middle. Did he make the catch at midfield? And they're saying the reception is good by Anthony Edwards.
They got a flag down. Atwater not happy about it.
Well, with the play stands, Arizona converts on a 3rd and long, but we'll see. Nope, they're going to bring it back. Oh, a wrong signal initially made by Mike Carey. That's against the Bronco defense. So they will not take that penalty, and 13-yard gain, good enough for a...
Illegal hands to the face on the defense, number 48. That penalty is declined. First down.
First down.
That's Lionel Washington. He's going to go to the face here. Let's check it out. Working on Rob Moore. Right there. Yeah, he got all of that face mask, and that's a good call. But I know how a guy like Lionel Washington thinks. They'll do that just to put that in Rob Moore's head that, listen, if you come up here and bump and run, you're not getting off the line very easy. There's that 8-man front again.
Initially slowed down by Braxton, and then Lyman came up to make the stop. Braxton's been all over the field today.
Yeah, Britt Hager's there also, but Braxton is the guy I think is very valuable to this defensive unit of the Broncos, because not only can he hit like a linebacker, but he can also come up and play the run, and he can move around, and you can put him in coverage position. He has played corner. He played corner when he was here last time. You can do a lot with him. He's very, very valuable these days.
Well, they'll say he got a yard, brings up a 2nd and 9. Little delay to center. And he is met after a yard gain by Elijah Alexander out of Kansas State in his 4th year. His alma mater having a big season.
Bernard Daphne laying on Wyman there. I don't think Wyman better contest that. Bernard Daphne goes 329 pounds. You got to smile and get up. I hope he didn't hurt you again. Wyman looks like he's hurting too. I think Daphne just fell on him.
That would hurt somebody. Another third down for the Cardinals. Opening possession of the second half, trailing 24-6. A 3rd and 8. 4 receivers check in. Krieg, good protection, steps up, guns it in there. Caught, dropped, and then caught again by Edwards. First down to the Denver 25.
See, that's a good job of working on the linebackers that time. They fit that ball right in behind the 2 linebackers. Now, I want you to watch the linebackers right here. They're going to drop back, but the receiver's going to come by and go just beyond him. Now, they're going to suck him up by the play right here. See this guy in here? That's what sucks him up. You can see the way they move in that direction, and that's what they fit right in behind him. Good job of staying with the ball that time by Edwards.
22-yard gain. Arizona trying to climb back in it. 1st and 10. Krieg, screen, and nearly intercepted by Alan Aldridge.
I don't know what Alan Aldridge is looking at. A lot of times you come up there and support on those quick passes. All you're thinking about is making the play, making the tackle. But if he looks at where the ball is going to be, he's going to walk all the way in for an easy touchdown. Just a quick throw out there, and if he just looks up, he's going to make that play and score.
Second down and 10 for the Cardinals. Krieg again, taken down, flag laid in on the play. Shane Dronette getting his first sack of the season.
He might have got a little of that face mask.
You called it, Ron Pitts.
Yeah, that's a shame too if you're a Denver Bronco fan, because that's a big-time sack in this part of the field. And he's on his way down. Really, Krieg can't get out of it. That's the only thing that could keep it alive, is to get a penalty, a face mask on the quarterback.
Well, it would have been the 3rd sack of Krieg today. This one a 5-yard
on the defense, number 99. 5 yards only. Measurement brings up a first down.
Krieg does a pretty good job of avoiding the rush initially, as he's done all year long. And Shane Dronette, 99, watch here. He's got all of that face mask. And of course, he'll only get the 5-yard because it was not flagrant. Flagrant would be 15.
Ball of the Denver 25. 1st and 10. Krieg throws, and a batted ball. Terrific defensive play made by Lionel Washington, covering Frank Sanders, the rookie out of Auburn.
13 years in the league, you're not going to fit that one in on Lionel Washington. He's just too good, too experienced. Think about how many times he's seen this play. They're just trying to throw what's called the quick slant. Lionel is there all the way. And this is how you reach over the top of a receiver. Don't make body contact, don't grab him, but get all ball. And that's the rookie working on the big-time veteran. See, later on, Sanders will know he's got to bend that route in a little more, get some separation from Washington.
Sanders without a catch today. 3rd and 9. Out of the shotgun, Krieg in trouble. Down he goes. Ray Crockett, his first sack of the season, the 4th today by the Denver defense.
The worst part about that play is that it takes the Cardinals out of field goal range. Right here, Crockett, he's coming in on the corner blitz. They haven't shown too much of that. And Krieg is completely surprised by it. That is one of the few times I have seen the Broncos blitz from the corner positions. They just don't do it a lot.
Long field goal try by Davis. 54 yards. Nowhere close.
Now see, that's what you're supposed to do when they try to kick a 50-some yard field goal. You rush inside, get penetration.
Arizona has the ball for 5 minutes and 2 seconds. They do not score. Concert Hall, downtown Denver, the nation's first symphony hall in the round. It's a wonderful city and great sports fans. They have their Broncos, the Rockies in baseball, now the Avalanche in hockey to go with the Nuggets.
Speaking of in the round.
Yes. 1st and 10. Davis, a big first half, and he starts his second half in the same fashion. Well, we remind you, coming up on Fox later tonight, Simpsons and Married with Children. And that's all starting at 8 Eastern, 7 Central on Fox.
You know, Bart could be your new analyst. I tell you. There's word that he's going to come up to the booth, you know.
Oh, yes.
Red 25, set up.
Second and 1, play fake. Elway looks to throw. Way downtown, wide open. Touchdown, Anthony Miller.
You know, Shanahan and the Broncos, they've been hitting the Cardinals with that left hook all game long in the form of that run and the play action. Anthony Miller's just going to drag all the way across the field. And as a DB, you cannot underestimate the arm of John Elway. You see that stick move, that's what got Aeneas Williams. Now, Aeneas is not 100% healthy, but that stick move was great. And it was a great block back upfield by Shannon Sharp to protect Elway, to give him time for Miller to clear across the field.
Extra point is good by Jason Elam. 47 yards. Elway to Anthony Miller. John Elway sniffing 40,000 yards. He may get it today.
This play happens for two reasons. Number one, Shannon Sharp in motion there. I want you to watch the block he gets right there. That's key because he allows John Elway to have extra time to throw that ball. Anthony Miller gave Aeneas Williams a great little stick move to the outside. It froze him, stopped his feet. And as a corner, when you stop your feet, you are done.
31-6 in favor of the Broncos. A 15-yard penalty was assessed on the point after against Denver. So Jason Elam will kick.
Well, the one good thing for Arizona, at least they'll have decent field position. Unless Elam just booms one.
Well, the Cardinals are going to need all the help they can get. John Elway went back into the locker room a moment ago. Now comes trotting back out.
There's only been one other. Whenever a guy does that, it's usually for one reason.
Nature's a calling. We saw Barry Switzer as a head coach do that very same thing.
And you know, you're really not allowed to leave the field, but of course it depends on who you are.
So it'll be Dowdell from the 12. And he's out close to the 35. Wrapped up by Tim Houck, backup safety, former Green Bay Packer. Well, 9:04 to play in the third quarter. All Denver in the Mile High City.
What he does is he pats the ball right before he throws it. And sometimes you can break off that and use that as a key if you're a defensive back. But you know what? Don't try it, because the distance and time between that pat and the throw right there is nothing. And that ball comes out of there like a wire-guided missile.
Coming right into your living room at home.
Boy, he threw that one 50 yards just like it was nothing. Just wham.
First down, Arizona trailing 31-6. Hurst nowhere to go. Dave Lyman tripped him up. Let's send it back to Hollywood for a McDonald's game break and James Brown.
Tom, Carolina's opportunistic defense has forced 4 turnovers against the 49ers. Here's one of them, John Taylor on the receiving end of his Gerback pass. Take a look, working for extra yardage, holds the ball loose, gets it stripped. Carolina recovers and holds to a 13-0 third quarter lead. Back to Tom and Ron.
Well, you can say what you want to, but that team is not the same without Young. Okay, Gerback is not Young. And they could talk about the injuries, but it could be a long rest of the year for them.
Second and 13 for Arizona. Catch made by the big tight end Wendell Gaines, but immediately chopped down at the 35 by Ray Crockett. Arizona has moved the ball very effectively today, but unable to cash in for big points.
Well, this is a look at what happens on their possessions. Now, you know, that's okay, but those need to be touchdowns And I am impressed by the way they have driven the ball down the field. But once again, as we saw last series, they got to that red area and something happens. As we look at Dave Atkins, the offensive coordinator, they got to be better in the red area like Denver has been better in the red area today.
Flags litter the field on what would have been a 3rd and 10. Maybe early movement against Arizona.
Before the start, false start on the offense, number 67. 5-yard penalty, repeat, 3rd down.
Yeah, that's the ball love, 67. He jumped a little bit early. He's right there. See, he feels Britt Hager coming right there, 54, and tried to get a little bit of a jump. And they got him for it. Nice pickup by Hurst coming over blocking. I mean, they might have been able to do something on that play.
So rather than 3rd and 10, it goes to 3rd and 15. Krieg, good protection, steps up, dumps it off to center. Oh, did he take a lick from Alan Aldridge, who has been roaming the field today for the Broncos.
That's just a great hit. Let's listen to the sound of this one. For, you know, in center's defense, somebody had his feet and he really couldn't do much. It was a great hit, but I don't think you're going to hit Larry Centers like that when he's running at you full speed and nobody's got his feet.
Beagles punts it away. Glenn Milburn inside his own 10. Eludes one tackle and then pushed out of bounds at the 13.
I can't believe they don't call a clip that time on Dodell. 84. He took a shot in the back right in front of the official, and they don't call it. And this goes to show you that the Broncos definitely got the Cheerios up, 31-6. He fields that ball inside the 10. That's a Cardinal sin. You're never supposed to do that.
Downtown Denver, Colorado, home of the Colorado Rockies, advancing on to the National League playoffs this season under manager Don Baylor. 31-6 Denver. 6:33 to go in the 3rd quarter. 1st and 10 give is to Davis, and he is close to picking up his first 100-yard rushing day as a pro. He had 90 before that carry, and he may be about a yard short of reaching the century mark.
This play is going to start off this way and then cut back. The key is that they get all this blocked on the backside so he has a lane to run in here. And what this does, this works on the Cardinals over pursuit. Look at all the white shirts on the left side of the ball. You've got your safeties, corners coming up making too many tackles. It's going to be a long day.
2nd and a yard. 100-yard day for Terrell Davis. Documented earlier, the 196th pick in the draft, and he's well on his way to being the AFC's Rookie of the Year.
He told us something interesting the other day. He said, I don't have the luxury of coming in here as a rookie and maybe backing up, running down on special teams. He said, I thought I was going to do all that and just really enjoy my first year with the Denver Broncos. It's been a whole new game for him. He is the #1 man. He is the guy they depend on when they don't depend on John Elway's arm.
Well, Denver just going to chew up time and let Terrell Davis pad the stats. Well, the one thing many of the fans came to see here today is John Elway coming into play today. Warren Moon actually became the 6th man to reach the 40,000 yards in passing over a career. Elway just 85 short.
But I think Mike Shanahan wants to try to get this game a little more padded for him points-wise before he lets John get that record. And two, the fact that Eric Swan is not playing up to par, that's a big thing.
Elway will put it up. Dances around. Fires at an eye on Anthony Miller and Aeneas Williams with the coverage. No flag on the play. Well, next week, the NFL's oldest rivalry heats up. The Chicago Bears and the Green Bay Packers. And then how about game 2? The most anticipated matchup of the season. 49ers and the Cowboys. It all begins at noon Eastern, 9 Pacific. Check local listings for the game and time in your area. I don't think there's a lot of debate right now, Niners and Dallas, as to which team is playing the best football.
Absolutely not. I think it's boys down there in Dallas all the way.
Blitz coming Elway. Fires to Shannon Sharp. First down out to the 44.
Remember Shannon Sharp the other day telling us how his ankles, he's had so many problems with those ankles. That left ankle, he had surgery on it, and he hoped that would help it last offseason, and it didn't. He's even had thoughts of retiring if he couldn't get that thing together. The bye week, he said, has helped immensely, resting it. But last year, he was taking injections for it before the game. And he said that was it. No more. I'm not going to shoot it up anymore to play on it. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. What a price to play.
First down, flag on the play. Elway up top to Davis, and it's overthrown. But again, penalty flags. This could be a hold against Denver. Well, they'll back up Mike Shanahan's team. And we'll hear from Mike Carey, our referee. We think we will.
Illegal shift on the offense. 2 men moving at the same time. That penalty is declined. Second down.
Well, you can have one move at the same time, but he's got to get set before the other one moves. Now, what I noticed that Swan doesn't have because he's not feeling well, he's got an initial surge, and he can get in the backfield, but he doesn't have his counter moves. Usually he comes with that surge and a rip and a pull. He's just got one thing, and that's it. He doesn't have the energy to do the rest of it.
Well, Swan started early. Hard count by John Elway, and teams just exchanging penalties on consecutive plays, it would appear.
What did Swan say? He is a John Elway fan. He said, that's always been my hero. I love the comebacks, the comeback games that he's played in, and it's going to be strange trying to tackle a guy that I admire so much.
Offsides on the defense, the nose guard, 5-yard penalty, repeat, second down.
Let's listen. He said, oh, shoot.
And knowing Eric Swan, that's exactly what he said. Deeply religious young man, and felt terrible about kicking Matt Joyce of Seattle last week, drawing a $4,000 fine. Elway, oh, how many times has he done this? Scramble around and find a receiver. Shannon Sharp.
Now, see, that's the problem with Elway. You get him out of the pocket, which is what the Cardinals want to do today. You can't guess that he won't throw in a place that you think he can't throw. He can throw anywhere. That is a cornerback's dilemma. Now, we've already seen him throw downtown on the quick pat. One thing, you're never untouchable. And I was in a game with him once, 80 yards away across the field, he throws the ball, makes it. You're never too close on the blanket coverage. You got to be right on your man. And we talked about that pat. If you see that pat, when he pats that football, it's too late. You're toast. That ball's coming out of there.
Blitz coming, hand off to Davis, tackled and dropped in the backfield by Clyde Simmons. We have not called his name today.
Well, sometimes you blitz and it's all good. You get in the backfield and you become the hero. You sack the quarterback. But Hogue, watch Hogue here. I want you to watch what happens to him. Sometimes in this league, they find you out. And he gets driven almost up to Boulder on that play.
Swan, one of the rare tackles he's made today. Second down and 13. 64 yards away. Boy, this is getting sloppy.
Oh, this is just concentration here.
Before the snap, false start on the offense, number 84, 5-yard penalty, repeat, second down.
That's Shannon Sharp, the tight end. Shannon's down in there close, and I got to believe Shannon Sharp, he's hurting too. I think that ankle bothers him. Now, he said he's okay and all that, but you look at him on the sidelines, you look at the way he is in the huddle, and he's in a lot of pain.
Well, Shannon Sharp one of the real tough guys in all of football. In fact, when he was in high school, along with his brother Sterling, his high school coach told him, look, your uncle played in a game with a broken collarbone. So he understood what you have to play with some pain every now and then.
I'm sure he asked, does that mean I gotta play? That was him, I'm me.
Elway dropped by Simmons. First sack of the afternoon against Elway.
And everybody's just praying that John gets up quickly. I think that's a blown assignment. I haven't seen Clyde Simmons come that free. John expressing his unhappiness there. He's going to come from the right of your screen. Nobody touches Clyde Simmons. That's just what I thought. And on Clyde Simmons, for all intents and purposes, I think he's got some years left, but I don't think this has been a banner year for him. He's been somewhat of a disappointment. And that's not good, because when you have a guy like Swan inside and Bankston, you count on that defensive end to be a player for you, to come up and step up and play.
3rd and 28. Elway has it batted, and his arm grabbed a hold up. Jameer Miller applying the heat, and Elway on back-to-back plays smothered by the Arizona defense.
That's a lack of concentration on his offensive line's part, because they've been good all game long. They've handled the blitz. In the last 2 plays, they have gone to sleep. And you know what going to sleep does for you? Get your quarterback killed. And I am surprised. There's Hill. There's Bankston. I mean, they're fighting over who's going to get the sack. You'll see Elway take a lot of shots. He's a durable guy. For a guy that's been in the league as long as he has, he's taken some shots and can still stand in there.
Well, they come after the punt of Tom Ruin. Anthony Edwards, a fair catch at the 13. So with 1:24 to play in the 3rd. A commanding 31-6 Arizona lead. John Elway. Will he get to the 40,000-yard mark today?
Charge. You can vent your opinion on anything when things don't go right. You talked about that lack of concentration from the offensive line. John lets everybody know about it.
Now John Elway, the fire burns, doesn't it? Leading 31-6, 13th season out of Stanford. Harrison Hurst off the left side, close to the 20.
They have made things happen in the running game. Nobody's going to say that they haven't. Garrison Hurst, he has run and had some good runs. Centers has had some good runs. But they get down and they get a sputter. They get down toward the red area. Here comes the big-time sack that takes them out of field goal range. Or a penalty. It's something. It's always something with this offense, and that's what they've had to fight all year long.
Gain of 6 by Hurst, 2nd and 4. Greg pump fake, fires far sideline. First catch of the day by the rookie Frank Sanders.
Hey, look, Frankie.
That was a much ballyhooed matchup last week, Sanders and Joey Galloway. And really didn't turn out to be much at all for either player.
Well, he's 2nd in NFC in yards per catch, so he knows how to get open. But I think they've loosened up the coverage on him a little bit today, being up by so many points. But it's interesting what he said to us yesterday. He said he's in awe. He's a little starstruck by this whole NFL thing, and he's not afraid to admit it. Who did he say he's going to watch? He said, I'm going to watch Terrell Davis when I'm on the sidelines. I like to cheer for other rookies. I like to see him do good.
Well, Sanders has had matchups this season against Michael Westbrook, Joey Galloway, today Terrell Davis. And Davis has been the man, propelling his team to a 31-6 lead at the end of the 3rd. Fox NFL Sunday will continue after these messages from your local station. Fox crew back in Denver. It's been all Broncos today, and this would be a real disappointing loss for the Cardinals.
Well, Buddy said we're all healthy. We're ready to play football. They came back into this game, though, hoping they could get a win to springboard into the rest of the season.
Blitz coming on Krieg up top. Rob Moore, and it's overthrown. Step for step on the coverage, Lionel Washington. And a penalty flag on the field as Krieg slow to get up.
Roughing the passer.
How about that?
Personal foul, roughing the passer, number 99 on the defense. 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
That's Dronette now. He already had the face mask penalty. Well, that's part of that new rule. If he releases that ball, and I mean, if it comes off his fingertip, you are allowed 1 step, and that step better be clean. He took about a step and a half, and the ball was well after release, so they're going to get him on that one.
Here we go, hold up.
Broncos opened up a 14-3 lead at the end of the first quarter, 24-6 at halftime. A touchdown pass to Anthony Miller, the only scoring for either team in the third. 31-6, just underway in the fourth. Good strike to Wendell Gaines, and he's into Denver territory to the 45. Well, next week, two terrific matchups. First in the NFC Central, the Bears and the Packers renew their rivalry, followed by the Cowboys and the Niners. It all begins at noon Eastern, 9 Pacific on Fox. Well, Dallas and Philadelphia, Ron, get together tomorrow night.
And this is why they wanted to get this win today. You know, with their schedule coming up, they felt like they had a chance to move on and really make things happen. But this will be a big setback if they can't get around.
Hurst to the 40, good enough for a first down. That should be an interesting game tomorrow. The Philadelphia Eagles and the Dallas Cowboys. We've seen the Eagles a couple of times. Their defense has been terrific.
Well, it's kind of like what Denver has done with that offense. Now, Shanahan came here, and everybody said, okay, West Coast, we're going to see it. But last week, or 2 weeks ago against Kansas City, what did they do? They came out in shotgun, you know, and they came out in no huddle. So it's really just a hint of West Coast, but it's a lot of other things mixed in, and that's what Philadelphia does. The same thing. I mean, that is the most run-oriented West Coast offense I've ever seen up in Philadelphia.
Krieg looking around.
There's Atwater.
Should have been intercepted. For Atwater, it would have been his third of the season. Frank Sanders, the intended receiver.
Yeah, he had way too much time to look at that ball. I'm going to tell you that right now. He's sitting in the post. He gets time to adjust his pads, time his jump, all that kind of good stuff. And ordinarily, he'd go for the hit. He'd try to knock Sanders out. And this is when you need to go up and just catch it in your chest, I think. You know, that's the safest catch you can make. Just chest catch it or pocket catch it. 6'3", 217. That's another linebacker.
5-time Pro Bowler Steve Atwater started every game in his 7-year career. Krieg just has to unload it, being chased by Elijah Alexander.
I'm not so sure they're going to get him on the hit, though.
I think you're right. Yep.
Yeah, no, they got him. They got him on the. But there's a man out there.
Well, they're calling intentional grounding against Dave.
But they're
Krieg.
talking about it.
Yeah.
He's throwing to a man.
There was no foul for intentional grounding. The receiver was in the area. Heard that.
They heard us. They heard us say that. Because Gaines is right there. It makes you wonder sometimes what they're looking at. You know, I see 89 Gaines right there.
Well, Dave Krieg felt the same way. And Gaines at 293 pounds at tight end is kind of tough to miss. How'd you like to hit him? We saw earlier Tyrone Braxton deliver a blow against Wendell Gaines. Here they come. Fletcher knocked out in his pursuit. Rob Moore can't hang on.
That's a great block by Cecil Gray, 66 for the Cardinals. Krieg goes on the scramble. He gets away from Michael Dean, who's about to open up rental property in the Cardinal backfield. And right here, he's going to scramble to his right. Watch 66 on Fletcher. Bam. This is a good catch. Well, almost.
And one of the few mistakes Rob Moore has made today. He has had a good afternoon receiving, despite being injured early in the game. Well, it's a 4th down and 10 to go. Play clock will run out. So they'll move them back even further, and on 4th down, trailing 31-6. Well, Buddy Ryan will leave his offense on the field.
You know, they have been flirting with that play clock all day long, and there's really no reason for it. It's not like you're you've got massive substitutions or you're trying to run a no-huddle offense or something like that. It just kind of shows you the state this offense is in lately.
Well, they now will elect to punt. Seagulls on, and Glenn Milburn stands at his 10. Still 13-14 to go. And really the only suspense left in this one is whether or not John Elway will become the 7th quarterback in NFL history to eclipse 40,000 yards passing in a career. And what a career it has been. One day it will land John Elway unquestionably in the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
You walk around the Broncos complex, and there are plenty of reminders of who they think is their Iron Bronco in that place. Pictures, posters, billboard-sized posters of John Elway everywhere.
Right when you walk in the door. Well, John Elway will take the field. His team leads 31-6. Larimer Square, downtown Denver, Colorado. We're at Mile High Stadium, just a couple of miles away. 31-6 Broncos. John Elway needing 248 yards when the day started, down to 64 now. Davis adding to his career best numbers as well. Picked up a couple of yards. Right now, McDonald's game break. Let's go to Hollywood and James Brown.
Hey, Tom, the 49ers averted their first shutout in 281 games. Thanks to Derek Laville's 1-yard touchdown run, they still trail 13-7 to Carolina. Back to Tom and Ron.
Well, that one's not over yet, though.
No.
Boy, Carolina, they got to be feeling real good about themselves. Win or lose, they're going to go back home feeling real nice.
3 wins in a row going into that game today.
Reed!
Play fake. Elway wide open across the middle, and making the catch is Vance Johnson, who's been on the receiving end of more John Elway touchdown passes than any receiver in Bronco history.
See, that's that old play that they've been running. They're going to start off one side, and they're really working on Lorenzo Lynch, okay? They're going to put a man in his face, but look at Johnson coming. See, Elway sees Johnson, but Lorenzo Lynch doesn't see him. He's up front trying to get somebody else. See 29 there. And that is the greatest sucker play going right now, to put a receiver in your face, have the quarterback roll that way, then try to fit a receiver in behind you.
23-yard gain on the reception by Johnston. And Bankston dropping Davis in the backfield. Well, you know, Denver in the second half of the season, Ron, the schedule not nearly as demanding as it was in the first half, facing foes such as Dallas and Buffalo. And a win today, and the Broncos jump back over 500.
Yeah, they do. But here's you take a look at what they got coming up. That's going to be a tough one right there. And I know this place will be a lot louder then than it is today for that one. But you talk about a tough Houston team. They got to go to Houston. That's an underrated team, I think.
Elway gets it away to Jerry Evans, the tight end, crossing midfield to the 46. Late flag comes in as Shannon Sharp and Lorenzo Lynch were pushing and shoving one another about 5 yards after Evans was tackled down the field.
Yeah, now they got into it the play before. Lorenzo Lynch, he's a tough guy, but he's giving away some pounds to Shannon Sharp. And it's funny, one guy is a brawler, a fighter, and that's Lorenzo Lynch. Shannon Sharp, and he's kind of a playful guy. He likes to jump around.
After the play was over, there was 2 personal fouls, 1 on each team. 84 offense and 29 defense. Offset, first down.
So Denver wins that one. Basically, that's what it amounts to. They fight and they win that one. Now, look in the back there. There's 29, Lorenzo Lynch. See, Shannon gave him a little late push, and Lorenzo got mad about it, did what he can't do. He threw the punch, and then the ref threw the flag. Now, it's 3rd and 1.
Well, this game has been dominated by the Broncos today. Certainly one of their more impressive outings of the season. Of course, they shut out Oakland here Monday night a couple of weeks ago. Arizona spending a timeout before Elway and the Broncos face a 3rd and 2. We'll be right back. Denver still 10:29 to play. Lorenzo Lynch and Shannon Sharp after the timeout still jawing at one another.
Yeah, they were going at it. And that's why they got Lorenzo Lynch off the field, because I don't think they want to lose either one of these guys.
Hard count again by Elway. Davis trying to get the first down. Flags come down from both sides of the field.
You know, it's funny. You look at Shannon Sharp now. If it runs in the family, which I think it does, all the Sharps love to instigate. And they're the kind of guys that will talk and maybe throw a punch and then walk away and never get caught for it.
Offsides against the defense, nose guard lined up in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty. The measurement gives the first down.
That'll be Swan down in tight. See, they're trying to stop that play. That's actually Chris Mamalonga down in there, 97. But they're all jumbled up in there just trying to get a surge to prevent that first down. Didn't work.
Well, you handled that name very well.
I won't say it again. I'll just say Chris Hill.
I wish you would. In case he does something, I might need the help. Elway drops it off to Davis, and read perfectly by Seth Joyner. Bring up a 2nd down for Denver. If you've only heard the legend, then you've only heard half the story. This Tuesday, Fox presents the world broadcast premiere of a Francis Ford Coppola film, Bram Stoker's Dracula, starring Keanu Reeves, Winona Ryder, and Gary Oldman on the Fox Tuesday night movie.
Yeah, when you got that Parker over the top of your head like that, you get that glazed look in your eye, you're pretty much done. And he came out in the start not feeling well. As a result, I think this Cardinals team is feel
Davis feeling well. Well over 100 yards to the 25. Terry Hogue the stop, and yet another running back piling up huge yards against this most disappointing Cardinal defense.
This is just good man-to-man blocking, but it's great vision. And of course, it's hard not to see that kind of hole. And you're not going to bring him down with arm tackles. And poor Terry Hogue. He has had his lap full today of making tackles down the field, having to blitz. They're trying to do anything they can to make up for the void that Eric Swan has left by not being there. And it's showing up big time.
Davis adding to the 130 rushing yards today. We talked about Arizona's defense. Terrible against the run, the only way to describe it. 63 games against a Buddy Ryan coach defense. An opponent individual never rushed over 100 until the opener this year.
But you know, Buddy's going to say the same thing he said in the first couple of weeks of the season. I don't have or the last few weeks here, I don't have all my people healthy. The first thing he's going to point to is Swan. And I'm going to have to back him up on this one, because it's not that Swan runs all over the field. It's just that you have to use 2 people to block it. So you got 1 less to block anywhere else.
Elway to the end zone. McCaffrey rolls in. Touchdown. Elway, his 3rd touchdown pass today. He's found Kramer, Miller, and now McCaffrey.
And he's got to be getting close. That's right. He only needs 11 yards to reach that 40K mark. Boy, what a competitor. This guy, every time he walks out in the field, I know it's kind of a mute point, but every time he walks out in the field, he's got a definite plan on how he's going to beat you that day.
Extra point is good. And a little extracurricular activity. The frustrated Cardinals have been simply manhandled here today by the Broncos. So we'll take a break. The legend grows for John Elway.
Sony Maximum Television presents Sounds of the Game with John Madden.
Hey, if you want to really feel the game, you got to hear what's going on down here. The booms, the bams. Just listen.
Find out why Bill Parcells is not only a master motivator, but a candid coach right after this.
You may be cheating yourself. When you rent a video, you're paying for great pictures. You're also paying for great sound. Big Hollywood surround sound. It's on your cable channels, even your favorite TV shows. But if you don't have the right stuff, you're not hearing it. Isn't it time you got everything you pay for? Maximum television, only from Sony.
I tell you, we can't play. We can't play. We're too stupid.
Hey, if you're not hearing it all, you're not getting the full impact. Whoa! Wow!
You can look at other people's landscape.
And on Tito Paul, the rookie, watch what happens. He gets beat inside. Tito Paul has no help. That's the one place he can't get beat. And you see the way he looks back at the quarterback? Looking back cost him a yard. He needed that yard to jump up and get that pass. That's a great pass by Elway. And once again, McCaffrey coming back, making the